In this video, I want to combine finding a least common denominator and using equivalent fractions. I'll do this first problem so you can see what I'm expecting. Currently, my two fractions have different denominators, so the first thing I'll need to do is find the least common denominator. After prime factoring, I find the LCD is 12. Next, I'll return to my first fraction, -3/4, and figure out the form of 1 I need to multiply by to build my LCD. Since I'm starting with 4, the form of 1 I'll need is 3/3. And for the second fraction, the form of 1 that I'll need is 2/2. My first fraction then becomes -9/12, and my second fraction becomes 2/12. Here's one for you. First, we'll need to find the LCD, and that turns out to be 150. For my first fraction, I already have a factor of 15. And you can use a calculator, that is, you could take 150 and divide it by 15 and find you need a factor of 10. I don't do that. Instead, what I do is I look at my prime factorization. Here's the 15 I already have. If I just had another factor of 10, that would give me my 150. So the form of 1 I want for my first fraction would be 10/10. For my second fraction, I'm starting with 50, and here that is, you can either think of it as 10 times 5 or 25 times 2. In either case, here's my factor of 50. I need a factor of 3. So the form of 1 I'll use is 3/3. My first fraction becomes 70/150, and my second 9/150. Here's our next one. My first step would be to change -2 4/9 into -22/9. After prime factoring, I'd find the LCD is 72. My first fraction already has a factor of 8. It needs an additional factor of 9, so my form of 1 will be 9/9. My second fraction already has a factor of 9. It needs a factor of 8, so my form of 1 is 8/8. And the third fraction already has a 12, that is 2 2s and a 3, and it will need an additional factor of 6. So the form of 1 I want is 6/6. After multiplying, I get 117/72, -176/72, and -6/72. Here's our last one. For step 1, I would make 1 and 1/21 into an improper fraction. After prime factoring, I can see I'll need a 2 and a 7 in my LCD to build a 14, and an additional factor of 3 to build my 21. Notice once I've done that, I already have built my 42, so I don't need to use any additional factors. My LCD then is 42. The form of 1 I need for my first fraction will be 3/3. For my second, 2/2. And for my third, I really don't need to multiply by anything, but if you'd like to think of it as 1/1, that's fine. That gives me -9 40-seconds, 44 40-seconds, and 5 40-seconds. Well, that concludes this video where we have combined least common denominator and equivalent fractions.